Good morning. Um, we will begin our service with the ringing of the temple bell. At this time, please silence your cell phones and listen quietly as the sounding of the concho is an invitation to settle our hearts and minds as we prepare to receive the Dharma. Thank you. Aloha, and thank you for joining us for the very last Sunday Dharma Family Service of 2024. I am Hedy Casquilla-Gray, and I will serve as your MC. Assisting at the temple with technical support is the Zoom crew of Alan Matsumoto, Darren and Lynn Katayama. Corinne Chong is our organist, and Betty Takioka will lead the singing. Please rise and let us start the service with the Vantana and Tisarana. Please chant both the Pali and English parts together with Reverend Blayne. Those of you on Zoom, please be sure to mute your mics.
Bhagavato Namanda, Vutsunamanda, 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 Vutsunamanda.
Please remain standing. Reverend Blayne will now share an aspiration.
Please join me in Gasho. During this season of gifts, let us reflect on the words of Gomonshu Kojun Otani, spiritual head of the Nishi Honganji. Living with the Dharma as my guide softens my rigid heart and mind. Gratitude for the gift of life I have received frees me from becoming lost in greed and anger, and allows me to share a warm smile and speak gentle words. Sharing in the joy and sadness of others, I shall strive to live each day to its fullest. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namanda Butsu. Namanda Butsu. Namanda Butsu. Namanda.
Please be seated. It is now time for the offering of incense. We invite all Sangha members in attendance to please come up and offer incense if you wish, starting with the front rows and moving toward the back. Let us observe a moment of silent meditation.
Namandab, 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 namandab.
Reverend Blayne will now lead us in chanting the sutra, verses reaffirming the vows. Words can be found on page 117 in the Jodo Shinshu service book and on the screen.
The Buddha of infinite light and life made vows to embrace all beings equally without exception. These vows promise to create a perfect world where no suffering or evil exists and guides us to supreme awakening. The Jusei or verses reaffirming the vows is a poetic summary of the basic intention of the 48 vows made by me, the Buddha, to attain supreme enlightenment, to save all who are suffering, and to declare universal liberation through the name Namo Amida Butsu. We chant the words of the Buddha from the larger Pure Land Sutra as a reminder of these great vows made to awaken all beings. The verses reaffirming the vows. I have made unrivaled vows and will reach the highest path if I fail in any way. May I not attain Buddhahood. Should I not provide to all for countless kalpas to come, aid in times of suffering? May I not attain Buddhahood. I will reach enlightenment, but unless my Buddha name resounds throughout the universe, may I not attain Buddhahood. I will practice the noble path, wisely, mindfully, free of greed, seek to reach the supreme way, be a guide to one and all. May my power shine great light to illumine and dispel the darkness of the three poisons and save all from suffering. With eyes of wisdom I'll remove the darkness of ignorance. I will close all evil paths, open gates of highest good. When I attain Buddhahood, light will shine throughout all lands, light brighter than sun and moon, outshining all heavenly lights, giving my virtues to all, not forsaking anyone. I will proclaim the Dharma like the roar of a great lion, bowing before all Buddhas, steadfastly gaining virtues, with wisdom fulfilling my vows. I shall be a guide to all, like the wisdom of my teacher nature. May my wisdom also shine all throughout the universe and illumine one and all. If I shall fulfill these vows, may all lands tremble with joy. From the heavens wondrous flowers rain down upon all the lands. Naman Namu. Naman Namu. Naman Namu. Naman Namu. Naman Namu. Naman Namu. The virtue of Amida's vow is shared equally by all, together attaining awakened mind. We are born in the land of peace. Namandabu, 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 namandab, 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 namandab. Namandabs, namandabs.
Please rise for the Gatha on this morn. Words can be found on page 119 in the Praises of the Buddha and on the screen.
On this morn and each morning, we adore the teachings true. I want to congratulate all of you for doing an excellent job while I was not here the past 2 Sundays. But it was kind of soft today, so come on, keep it up, all right? Sing loudly. Thank you.
You may be seated. Today's Dharma message will be shared by Reverend Blayne.
Hi, good morning and aloha, everybody. And we missed Auntie Betty the past 2 weeks. We're glad that she's back to help lead us in singing. But because you're back, that's why everyone sang softly. So so. So good morning, everybody, and thank you for being here on this final Sunday we have together in 2024. The holidays are a special time of giving and receiving gifts, right? We normally think of gifts as something physical that we may or may not actually need, right? How many of us spent too much because we saw a great deal on Black Friday or on Cyber Monday, right? Did all of your packages come already? Right? And however, right, the holidays are really a time to reflect on the intangible gifts of the Spirit that we receive throughout the year. As Buddhists, we celebrate the Great Awakening of Shakyamuni Buddha on Bodhi Day, and we rejoice in the promise of universal liberation through the Dharma, the Buddha's teaching. We are so fortunate to receive this gift of the Buddha's teaching that enable us to awaken to the working of wisdom and compassion in our lives. When we receive the life-transforming Dharma as a spiritual gift, we naturally share our appreciation and our joy through our thoughts, our words, and our actions. In Shin Buddhism, gratitude is the true way of living and is the heart of our spiritual path. The Catholic brother, David Steindl-Rast, believes that the root of joy is gratefulness. It is not joy that makes us grateful, it is gratitude that makes us joyful. I believe this kind of sums up the Nembutsu path and reminds us of how we should live, reflecting on the many gifts we receive every day, and in turn, sharing our gratitude with others. In his book, The Buddha's Wish for the World, our previous Gomonshu, Koshin Otani, reflects on how in our modern world we might be losing the art of living, free of calculated effect and attachment to things. He says, on any given day, our actions inevitably involve some form of calculation, right? Nothing is free. There is some profit in it for me, and so I make an effort. There is usually no one who would go out of their way to suffer by performing some pointless task or profitless task. However, if by some uncalculated action without any ulterior motive, one were to strive to make someone happy as well as make oneself happy in the process, how wonderful would that be? You might wish to make someone else happy, but you want to get some thanks for it. Or you want the recipient to be grateful. Well, that makes, right, our action calculated, right? It's not selfless. A person who does something without asking, out of a one-sided wish to make someone happy and quietly goes about working towards that end, putting his entire life into making that wish come true, is called a Buddha. And he goes on to share the following. A few years ago, a television news station showed a photograph of a badly burned cat receiving a transfusion. Suckling at the mother cat was her litter of 5 kittens. The storage shed of the car repair shop where the kittens were born had caught fire. The firemen cordoned off the area as they prepared to fight the blaze, but the mother cat skirted past them and ran into the burning shed, bringing out the kittens one by one. Every time she came out, she got singed even more and was growing visibly weaker. Finally, she rescued the last of her litter, and she collapsed on the spot. The firemen who saw this, once their work was done, took the mother cat to the local veterinary hospital, which managed to save her life. That is the story behind this photograph the Gobonshu shares. And he says, this news item left a big impression on me. The mother cat had done something that even humans rarely do. In this way, the one who has the will to throw his life into saving the lives of others is a Buddha. The former Gomonshu then shares the final passage of the Sambutsuge, or the verses in praise of Buddha, in which Amida Buddha, as a bodhisattva, those enlightened beings who give up their own awakening for the sake of others, declares his aspiration to liberate all beings. Even if I should be subjected to all kinds of suffering and torment, continuing my practice undeterred, I would ensure it and never have any regrets. This kind of selflessness is what it means to be a Buddha, what it means to live a life of a bodhisattva that we are all living, right? To think of not just ourselves, but to think of others as well, right? That the happiness of others also means my own happiness, right? There's a mutuality in the way we have to live our lives in this world that is so profoundly interconnected. In a teaching from the Nirvana Sutra, the Buddha describes the best kind of offering. He says, if one gives away a gift only when it is convenient to do so, or because it is easier to give than not to give, it is an offering, of course, but it is not a true offering. A true offering comes from a sympathetic heart before any request is made, and a true offering is given not occasionally, but constantly. Neither is it a true offering if after the act there are feelings of regret or self-praise. A true offering is one that is given with pleasure, forgetting not only oneself as a giver, but also the one who receives it, as well as the gift itself. A true offering springs spontaneously from one's pure compassionate heart, with no thought of any return, and is accompanied by the wish for both the giver and the receiver to enter into a life of enlightenment together. This mutual benefit of self and other. That is our ethic in the way we should live our lives. That is the ethic that the Buddha is calling us to live, that we should not be selfish, to live with a heart of compassion for self and others. We need this lesson even more in our world today. You know, the greatest gift we can give and receive is the gift of presence, right? Of being present with another person, right? With those we love, especially during the holidays, right? Of bringing our whole self and attending to another person with mindful compassion. And so I want to share this 7 gifts that require no possessions that was shared by the Buddha. So the first is the gift of gentle eyes, looking at others kindly. The second, the gift of smile and a kind expression. The gift of words, speaking kindly to others. The gift of the physical body, acting properly yourself and treating others with respect. The gift of heart, touching others with a heart full of love. The gift of a resting place, offering others a place to sit and to rest. And 7, the gift of shelter and lodging, providing others with a room or a warm place to stay. Right? These gifts require no possessions, no money. However, what they do require is a heart of compassion and gratitude for our lives embraced and sustained by the working of dynamic wisdom and compassion. Cultivating a heart of gratitude is the way we can realize the everyday gifts, the everyday miracles that the Venerable Thich Nhat Hanh describes. People usually consider walking on water or in thin air a miracle. But I think the real miracle is not walking either on water or thin air, but to walk on earth. Every day we are engaged in a miracle which we don't even recognize. A blue sky, white clouds, green leaves, the black, curious eyes of a child, our own 2 eyes. All is a miracle. All is a gift. The Buddha teaches that a true offering is not a matter of pride or vanity. The true spirit of dana, the first of the 6 perfections, the paramitas, is to give selflessly with a clean and pure heart and mind. A true offering is one where there is no attachment to the person who makes the offering, to the receiving person, or to that which is offered. He describes 3 kinds of offerings, right? Material offerings, right, are the money or goods that we often give, right? Dharma offerings are the sharing of the Buddha's teaching and knowledge with others. And the third offering is the offering of fear elimination, right? It's the giving of fearlessness, of a fearless mind to others. This is an intangible gift, which is described as the most important and best kind of offering one can give. To give a fearless mind to others seems extremely difficult, but this can be accomplished by standing with suffering people, listening to their problems, and staying with them to the end. The 7 gifts that require no possessions are a clear example of this kind of offering, which comes from within each of us, which eliminates fear, which is the antidote, right, to the poisons of greed, anger, and ignorance that we are all subject to. And we find ourselves falling into the trap, right, of being consumed by these poisons. How fortunate we have encountered the gift of the Buddha's teaching. How remarkable we have so many gifts always present in our lives, right? The gift of Sangha. I am so grateful to each one of you to be part of this Sangha, to be part of our community of fellow travelers, right? This is the gifts that require no possessions, but the gift of presence of you showing up, of each of us showing up in caring for each other. That is the most remarkable gift that we can offer the world. And as my wise seminary instructor, the late Reverend Dr. Seigen Yamaoka, who was the former bishop of the Buddhist Churches of America on the mainland, once said, "Kindness is a gift that grows out of a deep sense of gratitude." Kindness is a gift that grows out of a deep sense of gratitude. And so, during this holiday season, may we always approach life with our palms pressed together in reverence and gratitude and joy. Living with the spirit of Gasho is the living Nembutsu of living gratitude, flowing from our ever grateful heart. And so in closing, please join me in Gasho for a closing reflection. The words of our present Gomonshu, Kojun Otani, the spiritual head of the Nishi Honganji. Living with the Dharma as my guide softens my rigid heart and mind. Gratitude for the gift of life I have received frees me from becoming lost in greed and anger, and allows me to share a warm smile and speak gentle words. Sharing in the joy and sadness of others, I shall strive to live each day to its fullest. Interesting in the dynamic working of all-inclusive wisdom and all-embracing compassion, we call the honored name of Amida, the Buddha of infinite light and life, in profound gratitude, abiding joy, and a heart-centered awareness for the gift of life we have received. Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu, Namman Dabutsu, Namman Dabutsu, Namman Dabutsu. Mahalo, everybody. Wishing you peace, joy, and love this holiday season.
Thank you for your message, Reverend. Thank you for your message, Reverend Blayne. John Sue will now lead us in the unison reading of our pledge. Words can be found on the handouts and on the screen.
Our pledge. Reaching out to others, I will share a smile and gentle words, just like the Buddha who always calls out with aloha. Breaking away from my greed, anger, and ignorance, I will try to live in peace and harmony, just like the Buddha who shares tranquility and kindness with all. Moving forward from self-centeredness, I will share a life of joy and sorrow with others, just like the Buddha, whose caring heart always embraces us. Realizing that I live because of others, I'll strive to live life to the fullest with an attitude of gratitude, just like the Buddha, who promises to embrace us all. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida. Namo Amida.
Thank you, John. We will now have the offertory presentation. Mahalo for your generosity, which helps to sustain our temple. Please rise as we will conclude this service with the singing of the Gatha Nembutsu.
Namo Amida. Namo Namandab, 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 namandab. Namandab, namandab, namandab.
Let's see, you may be seated. This concludes today's service. Here are some announcements. There will be no service next Sunday, December 29th, because it's mochi making day. The action starts super early for the rice steaming crew, but for the rest of us, go time is 7 a.m. Still sounds early to me, but okay. Many volunteers are needed as it is a big job to fulfill all the pre-orders. Please come to help. It's a good opportunity to learn how to make mochi while having fun at the same time. Everyone is welcome. Mochi pickup will start from 2 p.m. through 5 p.m. that day. New Year's Eve service and bell ringing will be held on Tuesday, December 31st at 6 p.m. Please join us as we take turns ringing the concho to bid farewell to 2024 and our many attachments and get ready to welcome the new year 2025 with fresh hearts and minds. Wednesday, January 1st, New Year's Day service will be held at 10 a.m. Let's gather to rededicate ourselves to continue to hear and share the Dharma in 2025. Regular Dharma family service will be held on Sunday, January 5th at 10 a.m. Reverend Blayne will share a Dharma message. Saturday, January 11th, 2025, we will observe, let's see if I can say this right, Ho'onko? Thank you. Candlelight service at 7 p.m. Guest speaker will be retired Reverend Dr. Bert Sumikawa. Sunday, January 12th, 2025, Ho'onko service will be held at Holualoa Temple at 10 a.m. with Reverend Dr. Bert Sumikawa as the guest speaker. There will be no service here at Konahongwanji Temple. Any other announcements, Reverend Blayne?
Again, thank you everybody for coming. I'd like to just welcome Emily, a friend of Jean Devers. So welcome, thank you for joining us today. And then also I think, is it Julia? Oh, Julia, thank you for coming from San Diego and her family, so welcome. So, but yeah, as I was talking about the gift of presence and the gift of being present, I hope that you can offer your gift of presence at our mochi making next week Sunday. So your gifts, we greatly appreciated of your time and labor. So, but it's a fun time, right, to be together as Sangha and to share this one last moment of the year as a temple community, making mochi and passing on traditions that are so important to do in our world today. So please join us, and I look forward to seeing you at our New Year's Eve service, New Year's Day service, and throughout the new year. So again, thank you very much for coming and for being a part of our Sangha. So mahalo.
Does anyone else have any announcements? Okay, then. Those of you on Zoom, you may leave at any time. Those of you here in person, refreshments will be served in the conference room. Mahalo to Lynn Katayama, Lisa Chirikau, oh boy, did I say that? Syria. Okay. And anyone else who brought goodies to share. Your attendance today is most sincerely appreciated. Please stay healthy and safe by getting all the recommended vaccinations. Don't forget to order the free COVID test kits too. Hope to see you at upcoming services and mochi making. Happy holidays.